Welcome to the Primetime News on MITV. I am Chimoke Michaels. The Supreme Court on Thursday upheld the victory of President Bola Tinubu in the February 25, 2023 presidential election. The Apex Court, in its ruling, dismissed the appeals by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, and his Labour Party LP counterpart, Peter Obi. A 7-judge panel ruled as without merit the opposition appeals over claims of fraud, electoral law violations, and Tinubu's ineligibility to run for president. The Apex Court trashed all the grounds of appeal of Atiku and the PDP on qualification, non-compliance with the Electoral Act, the 25% votes in FCT, and the electoral malpractices. On the whole, having resolved all the issues against the appellant, it's my view that there is no merit in the appeal and it's hereby dismissed, Justice Inyang Okoro said in dismissing Atiku's appeal. The judgment of the court below, delivered on September 6, 2023, affirming the election of the second respondent, Tinubu, as the duly elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is hereby affirmed.
It has to be noted, as I stated earlier in this ruling, and for which there are several judicial decisions in this country, that the 180 days imposed on election tribunals and courts
that upheld his victory, saying it has further strengthened his commitment to continue to serve all Nigerians, irrespective of political persuasions, tribes, and faiths, with honor and total respect for diverse opinions. The president, who stated this on Thursday at the presidential villa in Abuja, said the renewed hope agenda for a greater and prosperous Nigeria has further gained momentum, assuring that he will continue to work to build a country that meets the collective yearnings and aspirations of its people. President Bola Tinubu further charged all Nigerians to continue to build the country together, adding that the strength of diversity of Nigerians must now compel citizens in directing their energy towards building a stronger, united, and more prosperous country. The president also expressed hope that the spirit of patriotism will be elevated into supporting the present administration to improve the living conditions of Nigerians. President Tinubu also expressed the willingness to welcome the contributions of all Nigerians in order to foster and strengthen collective progress.
And prosperous Nigeria, and that's my belief.
Now that your mandate is short, sir, and Nigerians are now waiting to see what comes from this administration. So how are you rewarding Nigerians with the mandate given to you, Your Excellency?
I've started from day one to work hard, regardless of, the court cases, okay? And just strengthen my resolve to do more. A challenge of this nature and a future of this nature is more work and more hard work, more dedication. And just appeal to the sense of patriotism of Nigeria to have a change of mindset. Let us be positive about our country, be ready to contribute in all ways possible. There's no promise of El Dorado from day one. We're all in this boat of diversity, a member of the same family, living in the same house, but stay in different rooms. And it is important that we recognize that we have no other country but this one. So we better be committed to it, not for the sake of our own self.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, has urged opponents of President Bola Tinubu at the 2023 presidential election to accept defeat and wait for their turn, while calling on all to work with the government to move Nigeria forward. The speaker, who was speaking with State House correspondents in Aso Rock Villa, Abuja, congratulated President Tinubu on his victory at the Supreme Court today. Abbas stated that the victory was not only for President Tinubu and the ruling All Progressives Congress, but also for all Nigerians. Other APC chieftains, including the party's national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, said President Tinubu's victory is a revalidation of the mandate which the Nigerian people gave him and Nigeria's electoral and judicial process.
Only for APC, is a success even for other political parties and a success for Nigerians. This has indicated that democracy is getting matured in Nigeria because politicians, after election, instead of resorting to, infight, resorting to causing confusion, we resort to the judiciary, and this is what this has shown that democracy is in action. So I think what we can learn from this judgment is that Nigeria has come of age as far as democracy is concerned, because we believe in the rule of law.
Thank you.
The judgment from the court. To God be the glory. It is not something unexpected. It's something that we have been waiting. We know ultimately what we heard today is what is going to be said. But the fact that it has come at these early hours, we have nothing to say but to say thank God to Nigeria, thank God to all the good people of Nigeria who prayed for this particular day, for this historic victory. I think this time around, after this pronouncement, we have no...
First and foremost is to thank the Almighty God for giving us such a peaceful end to this entire exercise. Democracy is a full exercise. And you can see the exercise started, from the primaries to the elections to the court cases, and now it's over. So I think it's now time for everyone to get together so that we can rebuild our country, rebuild the economy, support Mr. President, and I'm sure Mr. President will be more than happy to call on all those, even those who have taken him to court, to call on them to come and give their contributions, because as far as this country is concerned, we need everybody in order to move on. And I think that's the right direction to go. So I congratulate Mr. President.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, Dr. Abiodun of Ogun, and Yahaya Bello of Kogi have stormed Aso Rock Presidential Villa on Thursday to congratulate President Bola Tinubu on the well-deserved victory at the Supreme Court, which delivered its verdict in favor of the All Progressives Congress and the President in Abuja. The governor said that APC members across Nigeria and President Bola Tinubu worked very hard for the victory enjoyed at the February 25th presidential election, noting that the Supreme Court's decision, which was in favor of the president, is comforting and also an affirmation of the will of over 8 million Nigerians who filed out to cast their ballots for the APC and President Bola Tinubu as their choice, while also congratulating the Independent National Electoral Commission for a job well done. The governors called on the opposition to support the government's renewed hope agenda to further contribute to the success of Nigeria.
It's very historic. It's the beauty of democracy. It's the beauty of the power of inclusiveness in governance, where everybody would have an opportunity to express themselves at the highest level. And as a people that is run and governed by a constitution, we all need to abide by those constitutions. And I think the highest, judicial body in our country has expressed themselves, very clearly. And there were no dissenting voices. It was all 7 of them that were on the same page. And so what that tells us is that whatever might have been a difference, let's put that behind us. It's a victory for all. I'm sure Mr. President too would have alluded to that. And what we need to now have is clear governance. We must have, a clear direction on how to, get all hands on deck, get the economy agenda of this country on track. Let us put whatever differences, political or otherwise, and let us rally around.
What they did today was being observed worldwide, and it speaks to the fact that in Nigeria we are guided, by the rule of law, and that Supreme Court is a Supreme Court that compares to any Supreme Court anywhere in the world. They've dispensed with this case. They've done so in line with global best practices. And there's no doubt left in anybody's mind that is now a closure. Our opponents can now go to sleep, or they can now congratulate our president. And if they actually did mean well for this country, you aspire to an office because you believe that you can offer the country.
This particular decision of today of the erudite jurists have further enriched our jurisprudence. And as well, it is clear, crystal clear to all Nigerians that our president won this election free, fair. And I congratulate INEC as well for a job well done. It couldn't have been better than this at this time, even though there are areas of improvement. But I congratulate them for taking their time painstakingly to do a good job that has been affirmed today by the highest court in land. I congratulate all of us. And like I admonished earlier, that opposition should just sheath their sword, support the government of the day. If Mr. President succeed, it is Nigerians that succeed. And we are praying and working hard that Mr. President should succeed, because when your leader succeeds, it touches on all the followers. So we are praying that Mr. President is going to succeed, is going to deliver dividend of democracy to Nigerians, and Nigeria is on the path of the renewed hope that it promised.
The Labour Party claimed the legislative and judicial arms of government have been hijacked by the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. At a press briefing hours after the Apex Court dismissed the appeals by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, and his LP counterpart, Peter Obi, Labour Party's chairman, Julius Abure, said the party was disappointed but have decided to charge on and remain optimistic for what the future holds for the nation. A 7-judge panel led by Justice John Inyang Okoro ruled the opposition appeals over claims of fraud, electoral law violations, and Tinubu's ineligibility to run for president lack merit. According to Abure, what happened from the day of the 2023 presidential election to now showed that the nation was sliding towards dictatorship. The Labour Party chairman also alleged that some leaders of the party, including himself and Obi, have been marked by the government for vilification in order to suppress the party and its goal for a new Nigeria. He called on the international community to rise to the occasion to defend democracy in Nigeria. He also urged Nigerians not to lose hope in the country, adding that we are hopeful that we will get to our destination someday, because where there's a will, certainly there will be a way. A new Nigeria is still possible. Lagos State government has reiterated its commitment to promoting craftsmanship and professional skills to help people provide a living for themselves. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by the Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, Akiyemi Bankole Ajipotafe, reiterated this at the graduation ceremony and presentation of work tools to 200 trainees of the Master Craftsman Initiative in Lagos. Our correspondent now reports.
This batch of craftsmen were trained for 6 weeks. The purpose was to expose the craftsmen and artisans in the building construction industry to the training needed to offer suitable service. Bankole Adibota first said the initiative became imperative in view of the embarrassing situation Nigeria's construction industry found itself. He said the training is also in line with the Governor Sanwo-Olu-led administration's agenda of inclusive growth. He added that the project is intended to enhance employability, improve productivity, and stem the influx of foreign artisans as well as craftsmen into the country.
It's evidence of our commitment to youth empowerment and the growth of the informal sector. We will create an additional center towards engaging more artisans in the subsequent phases of this program. The objective is to further create the over 15,000 skill gaps in the build sector and ultimately stimulate the provision of sustainable, decent, and affordable housing projects for the states.
The Commissioner for Housing, Maruf Fatai, employed the graduates to make use of the skills learned and the training towards a positive course. He added that the graduates will be introduced to the Lagos State developers in order for them to utilize their skills.
Make good use of this opportunity and present yourself as a worthy ambassador of the state government, having passed through this technical and practical session. Our expectation for you is the application and transfer of set skills gathered in the course of the training at your respective places of work and deliver the best of services to your clients, thereby enhancing the effort of the state government and the expansion of the program.
This was designed to increase the skill of the local artisans within the country, especially within the Lagos State, to be able to increase their skill and perform better when it comes to the construction, especially the housing sector.
Are the building blocks of progress, and I have every confidence that you will go on to make significant contributions to our state's growth and development.
The Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Mobolaji Ogunlende, employed private organizations to partner with the government to help the youth in acquiring a skill.
And also use this opportunity to call out to other private organizations. The government cannot do it alone. So we're continuously looking for partnerships with private organizations to see how we can collaborate so that we can reach out to a bigger spectrum of youths in Lagos State.
The graduates were trained in masonry, carpentry, plumbing, electricity installation, among others.
Wife of Ekiti Governor Dr. Olayemi Oyèbánjí has officially unveiled her pet project dubbed Widows and Orphans Hope Project, WAOH. Correspondent Abidemi Sikiru was there and filed in the report.
In continuation of the celebration of Governor Biodun Abayomi's 1 year in office, wife of the governor, Dr. Olayemi Oyèbánjí, has unveiled her pet project. Unveiling the pet project tagged Widows and Orphans Hope Project. Wow! Governor Biodun Abayomi Oyèbánjí urged privileged Nigerians to imbibe the culture of adopting widows and orphans for economic and educational empowerment to give them succor and make them fulfilled in life.
Whatever my wife is doing is to complement all those achievements of Her Excellency the Bishop. So this is an addition to the bouquet of everything you have put in place. This does not mean that we will not do GBV, we will not do issues that has to do with affirmative action, but she just added this to it. So when we run with those laudable programs, this is going to be an addition. And as we get the inspiration, she will continue to add to it. And that is what continuity will do to any society. To assure the beneficiary that it's not going to be a one-off intervention. This will go on in the life of this administration.
In her speech, wife of the governor stated that the project will focus on widows and orphans in the state.
Looking ahead, subject to the availability of funds, our primary aim is to provide aid to a significant portion of the 30,000 or more individuals registered in the program. We therefore solicit everybody's support for this project. Together, we can lend every hand to the vulnerable among us.
Also speaking at the ceremony, wife of the former governor of Ekiti State, Erelu Bisi Fayemi, commended the efforts of Dr. Olayemi Oyebanji for initiating the program.
Your Excellency Dr. Oyebanji, we had many conversations about what it means to do this job, the challenges, and so far you have been absolutely outstanding. I congratulate you on coming up with this initiative, Widows and Orphans Home project. And I'd just like to encourage you, regardless of all the obstacles or challenges you might face, please continue to do the good work.
Dr. Olayemi Oyebanji empowers 350 widows and 25 orphans during the program. From Akdo-Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital, Abidemi Sikiru, NITV News.
Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERA, has brought to the forefront the pressing issues surrounding data and digital rights in Nigeria, underscoring the invasive nature of the digital realm and the critical need for privacy protection as enshrined in the Constitution. The Deputy Director of the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, Kolawole Oluwadari, highlighted in Lagos how the rapid advancement of technology has brought about evolving challenges in the realm of data and digital rights. Oluwadare emphasized the need to educate Nigerians, particularly those in rural areas and the youth, about digital rights. Deputy Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Tony Ojukwu, emphasized the paramount importance of digital rights within the context of data and digital rights. He underscored the invasive nature of the digital realm and the critical need for privacy protection as enshrined in the Constitution. A senior lecturer in the Faculty of Law, Dr. Olubumi Afinowi, highlighted pressing data protection challenges in Nigeria, including inadequate documentation, failed legislative attempts, judicial disinterest, and political and civic apathy.
It entails protection of the civic space, and for the Commission, we have fought against every single movement in Parliament to restrict the civic space. A lot of laws have been proposed on the floor of the Parliament to see how they can restrict the civic space, and the Commission stands against that. The Commission is working with the civil society and all necessary stakeholders to make sure that any law that passes through the National Assembly goes through what we call human rights impact assessment.
Isn't that so? Yes. So we have issues of citizen to citizen DDR violations. It's all over the place. We have government censorship, we have surveillance, we have other forms of undemocratic repressions. Now it is reported, speaking about the media, I know the members of the media.
And the growth of technologies, data and digital rights and issues associated with these rights have become much more important. Also within the context of our democracy and the experience that we've had over the years, we've seen that the issue of the promotion or infringement, you can call it that, of human rights of Nigerians have now shifted to online, which in recent times you would recall, for instance, an agency of good Nigerian government that describes social media as a monster. And then there is a bill again to regulate social media, whatever that means. And that means that it is very important at this point that we begin to discuss the aspect of the promotion.
Up next are stories from the foreign scene. Welcome back. Hurricane Otis killed at least 27 people as it lashed Mexico's beach resort city of Acapulco as a scale-topping Category 5 storm, officials said Thursday, in what residents called a total disaster. The storm crashed into Acapulco with furious winds of 165 miles per hour, largely cutting off communications and road links with the region. President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador arrived at the scene late Wednesday after his convoy found roads blocked by landslides and other debris, forcing top officials to abandon their vehicles and walk the final miles. The closures meant some residents locked for hours through mud and debris in an attempt to find food and shelter. Police in the U.S. state of Maine waged a sprawling manhunt on Thursday for a gunman who killed at least 16 people at a bowling alley and a bar in the deadliest mass shooting this year in America. Dozens more people were reported wounded in the rampage in the small town of Lewiston, and in the absence of a formal death toll, local officials estimated the number of fatalities at between 16 and 22. Lewiston was in lockdown Thursday morning, with schools closed and residents ordered to stay indoors. Police said a man named Robert Card, seen in surveillance footage, pointing a semi-automatic rifle with an extended clip as he walked into the bowling alley in Lewiston, should be considered armed and dangerous. Up next is sport after this break. Swiss prosecutors announced Thursday they have dropped their 3-year criminal proceedings against FIFA President Gianni Infantino over suspected collusion with officials concerning the corruption scandal that engulfed World Football's governing body. Infantino declared a full and clear victory in the case and demanded an apology from what he called the envious and corrupt people out to tarnish his reputation. A probe was opened in July 2020 to investigate suspicions of collusion between Infantino and Switzerland's then Attorney General Michael Lauber, the country's top prosecutor. Lauber was in charge of Switzerland's probe into the towering corruption scandal that exploded at the heart of Zurich-based FIFA in 2015, but he was forced to recuse himself from the investigation in June 2019 following media revelations that he had held several undeclared meetings with Infantino during the probe. Newcastle United's Italian international midfielder Sandro Tonali has been banned for 10 months for betting, the Italian Football Federation said on Thursday. The 23-year-old was found to have gambled on matches involving his former club AC Milan before he joined Saudi-owned Newcastle in July in a £56 million move that made him the most expensive Italian player in history. The ban means Tonali will miss the rest of the Premier League season and next summer's European Championship if holders Italy qualify. He is the second Italian player to be banned from football in a betting scandal which came to light during the recent international break. Juventus' Niccolò Fiagoli was suspended for 7 months by the FIGC's disciplinary tribunal earlier this month and agreed to therapy of at least 6 months to treat his gambling issues. And that's the news on MITV. Thanks for watching. I am Jumoke Michaels. Good night.